Welcome to Academic Gain Tutorials. In this video, we will look into the differences between direct tax and indirect tax. Tax is a financial obligation payable to the government for the cost of living in a society. It is a fee levied by the government of the respective country or territory on income, activities, goods, and services. It is broadly classified into direct tax and indirect tax. Taxes charged directly on the income or wealth of an individual is called direct tax. On the contrary, an indirect tax is a tax that is added to the price of goods and services. So, let's look into the basic differences between direct tax and indirect tax in a tabular form. Difference number 1. Direct tax refers to the tax which is paid directly to the government by the person on whom it is imposed. On the other hand, indirect tax is a form of tax that is paid by the taxpayer to the government, but the amount of tax is recovered from another person, who gets the benefits, that is, the final consumer. Number 2. The Central Board of Direct Taxes functioning under the Department of Revenue is the authority that administers direct taxes in India. Conversely, the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs is the authority responsible for the administration of indirect taxes. Number 3. While direct tax is levied on the assessee, which may include individual, HUF, company, AOP, BOI, etc., whereas indirect tax is paid by the final consumer. Number 4. Direct tax is progressive in nature, as it is based on the percept of ability to pay. So, the tax is imposed more on the rich and less on the poor. Oppositely, indirect tax is regressive in nature, as every person contributes equally to the payment of taxes. Number 5. Direct tax is one in which the incidence and impact of the tax fall on the same person, whereas indirect tax is a tax in which the incidence and impact of the tax fall on different persons. Here incidence refers to the liability for the payment of tax, and impact means actual payment of tax. Number 6. Direct taxes are when the assessee on whom the tax is imposed is liable for its payment. Contrastingly, indirect taxes is when the person receiving the benefits is liable for its payment and not the person on whom it is imposed. Number 7. Tax evasion is a practice of deliberately avoiding the payment of taxes while taking recourse to unlawful means. In the case of direct taxes, tax evasion is possible, whereas, in the case of indirect taxes, tax evasion is not possible as the amount of tax is hidden in the price of the goods and services itself. Number 8. While direct taxes help in controlling inflation by absorbing excess liquidity from the market, indirect taxes give rise to inflation or deflation. Number 9. Direct taxes are imposed on and collected from assessees, which includes individuals, companies, etc., whereas indirect taxes are imposed on and collected from consumers of goods and services but paid and deposited by the assessee to the government. Number 10. In the case of a direct tax, it is the taxpayer who bears its burden, that is, it cannot be shifted to or recovered from another person. Conversely, in indirect taxes, the burden of tax can be shifted to another person. Number 11. The taxable event in the case of direct tax, when the income of the assessee reaches the maximum limit specified under the law, the exceeding amount will become taxable. Contrarily, whenever there is a purchase or sale or manufacture of goods and provision of services, it is a taxable event in the case of indirect taxes. And, difference number 12, collection of direct tax is difficult, whereas, it is easy to collect indirect tax. Talking about administrative cost, the administrative cost of direct tax is greater in comparison to indirect taxes. The imposition of taxes is important for the collective welfare of the society and a means for economic development. A good taxation system possesses the characteristics like equity, certainty, convenience, redistribution, flexibility, and encourage investments. So, these are the differences between direct tax and indirect tax. If this lecture was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.